Hello and welcome to the next FHIR out-of-the-box tutorial. Integrated solution between outbound FUME and InterSystems IRIS for health. In this tutorial, I would like to show you how to convert HL7 V2 messages to FHIR bundles. Before we are moving on, let me introduce you what we would like to achieve in our tutorial. Let's start with the representing and briefly reviewing HL7 V2 message, which will be used by us as a source message for building our conversion. So here you can see ADT A01 message comprised of the following segments: PID, keeping patient demographic information; PB1, keeping encounter information; DG1, keeping condition information; and finally IN1, keeping insurance information. Now let me show you what we would like to get as a result of our conversion. So let's go to the bundle visualizer, and here we can see a bundle which is received as a result of transformation from our source message using bundle map. So here we can see patient, condition, encounter, and account, coverage, and organization received as a result of conversion from our ADT A01 message with all references between them. Okay, so now we can start with our map building process as a first step. So let's go to the FUME designer and put into the source pane our HL7 message. Let's represent HL7 message as a JSON by clicking this button. So you can see we are having now HL7 V2 message represented as a JSON structure. So a very important point to mention before we are moving on with the transformation map creation is the following. In this tutorial, I will not show you how to build independent map for each of resources. This tutorial will be based mostly and mainly on the bundle creation. So if you would like to learn how to build single maps, you can refer to our previous tutorials. Okay, so let's open previously created a bundle map. And as you can see, we automatically got in the result pane the complete bundle. So now let's go into the details and review what we are having here and how you can build your bundle map. Okay, let's minimize top field and go one by one. So as you can see, we are having in the first section, and here you have a second section, we will review it later. So you have basically variables which each of them is keeping independent FUME map used for conversion of the data in the source message into the single resource. For example, patient variable is keeping patient map. Organization variable is keeping organization map, and etc. etc. So let's go to the patient and see how it's basically organized and what is the structure of this transformation map. So in fact, we are talking about absolutely standard map, which you probably already been view in our previous tutorial, where we discussed about ORU message transformation to the single observation resource. So here we are basically following the same approach of building independent maps or transforming a segment or couple of segments into the single FHIR resource. So here, as you can see, if you will go just into the details and see what we are having within every object and elements, you will basically see that we just took all the data from the PID segment and map it in appropriate way into the map and got as a result a patient FHIR resource. So the 2 points that we have to mention and very important to take them into account when you are building the bundle map. The first one is the ID creation. So again, it is something that you shouldn't do, but we are very recommended to following this approach. So first of all, we would like probably to build the map and build and get a bundle resource where following the based on the following logic. If current resource already been stored within the FHIR repository before, which could happens in the real life. So we would like our FUME engine to retrieve automatically logical ID of this resource according to some element within the source message. As an example, and in most of the cases it is exactly what you will have, identifier. So for this purpose, if you would like to follow this approach, so you will use a function called resource ID, which is retrieving logical ID from the server based on some specific element within the source message. And in fact, we are talking basically about implementation of the conditional reference. So as you can see, you have as a parameter here the part of the get query using PID patient identifier list dot ID number. So in fact, we are talking about this value as the source value for initiating the resolving of logical ID. It is what you have here. And because we already previously deployed this patient into the repository, you can see here logical ID resolved automatically from the FHIR repository. But let's assume that you are talking about new patient with the identifier 21. In this case, as you can see, ID disappear because FUME engine did not resolve the logical ID from the FHIR repository. So it is automatically managed by resource ID. It's the first point that we will take into account. And the second point, we have to organize and we have to populate references between resources comprised of our bundle. Okay, in this case, let's take, for example, coverage with the beneficiary object having reference to the patient. Okay, as you can see, we are having here function called reference, and within the brackets, you will have to put the map variable, the variable keeping the appropriate map. It is the only thing that you have to do. And reference will be created absolutely automatically. Okay, we can see it in the result pane. Let's go for a second to the coverage resource. Okay, and you will see the reference to the patient resource here. Let's find it. Okay, here is it coverage. And within the beneficiary, we actually have a reference to the full URL of the patient resource, which is perfect to organize the references inside of transaction bundle or any other bundle actually. Doesn't matter, the type is not critical here. So it is how basically is working. And the same operation we have to deploy within the every map that we are building in our bundle map. One more feature that could be very useful for you once you completed your transformation. You probably would like to eliminate all undefined fields which will never used by you. For this purpose, we are having this button. So by clicking this button, all undefined fields, as you can see, disappear. You are having just map fields within the map, which is very useful and for reading our map and understand it much easily. Okay, so it's the first part. But now we would like to discuss about second part of our bundle map, appear here. So what we are having here, it is basically a part of the bundle which is organizing the bundle structure. And here, first of all, we are defining ID for our bundle, which is not mandatory, but we are doing it with the UUID function automatically generated GUI-based ID for our bundle. Then we are having type transaction, but it could be batch or any other. Basically, bundle type is up to you to define what you would like to achieve in the very end. And then you are having actually the section with the entry. And as you can see, the syntax here is pretty simple. You're just putting the variable, keeping the map for a specific resource into the brackets, dot entry. And here you can see the request object, which is defining the method and URL. So here, as you can see, the method is defined as a put, and URL comprised of patient and ID, which means that FHIR server, once he will get a transaction, he will perform put operation for this patient because this patient already been created before in our FHIR server, and we don't want to create another instance of our patient. We would like just to update. Again, this behavior is deployed in this bundle template, but you can easily change it. It depends on your logic, how you are defining your logic for your specific project. But we are recommended to use this kind of approach because in most of the cases it will fit your, let's say, fit your needs. Okay, by the way, it is very important to mention automatic behavior. So what actually will happen if I will put here identifier 21? So as you can see, the method automatically switch to post, and within the URL you just have a resource type, sorry. Okay, which means that FHIR server will perform post operation and will create the new instance of patient and return back the location header with the appropriate patient ID. Okay, so it is what I would like. Basically, we finish here. We're having here a perfectly designed bundle, and now we can move to the next step. Okay, before we are moving on, I would like to show you something very important in terms of syntax. So let's open for a moment our bundle template. Okay, this bundle template, as you can see, free of data. You just have here the second section, and all variables are commented. So you just remove a comment of our patient, and I will show you how to populate inline the appropriate transformation map. So you have to put brackets, and within the brackets you have to put your transformation map. How you can do it? So you are going to the resource templates, let's find the patient, and click on this button. And as you can see, the transformation map automatically populated inline into the bundle template. So it is what I would like to show you. So we finished at this moment, and we may continue to the next step. So what is the next step? Once your map is designed, created, and saved, the next step is to define routing rules. What does that actually mean? What's the purpose of routing rules in our integrated solution? So the purpose is to identify your source message and call appropriate FUME map accordingly. How we may achieve this goal? So first of all, we have to create the rule name, which is not important. And then we have to choose here the appropriate FUME map. In our case, it's called ADT bundle v3. And here we have to define expression, which will uniquely identify your source message. So let me just take our source message, which was used for map creation. Let's convert it to JSON and define rule which will uniquely identify our message. I think the most simple approach here is just to take a message type, is use a message type. Let's take, for example, a message code equal to ADT and trigger event equal to A01. I think it could be enough. So now we would like to make sure that our routing rules is valid. So we are having automatic validation function before you are moving on. So let's click on validate, and here we are getting true, which means that our source message was identified, and now we can moving on. So let's save the rule. So we're having this rule in the list of the rules, and even from here you may validate your routing rules. So as you can see, for ADT, for previously created one, we are getting again true. And for other rules which were created for another type of source messages, we are getting false, which means that we are having a uniquely created rule which will call only one map called ADT bundle with 3. So we are ready to go to the next step. And the next step is to test our conversion. We would like to make sure that everything was fine and we are ready to for production. Because the next step after that is to configure your business service or business operation according to what you would like to achieve of your InterSystems IRIS for accepting incoming messages and just start sending. And all the rest will be performed automatically by the solution. Okay, so let's put here our HL7 message and push on convert button. So now we will get here a acknowledgement message. It's a standard HL7 acknowledgement message with only one customization, that here in this field of the MSA segment, you got the bundle ID because we assigned bundle ID, and just a word bundle because we are not having any location to the bundle. We're talking about transaction bundle in our case. So bundle actually is disappear once you are performing your transaction and sending your transaction to FHIR server. So just in case if you are talking about some single resource and not a bundle which received as a result of transformation, so you will get here the allocation to the resource stored in your FHIR repository. Okay, so we finished. We are having bundle appropriately stored. And now I would like just to show you what we are having within the FHIR repository. So let's go to the bundle visualizer. And here in the query, we are having URL, which is performing the get operation of patient with the operation everything. And of course, we have to indicate the ID. This is ID which are created automatically by our FHIR server as a result of patient post-operation. So let's go to the test query, view bundle, and here is it. It is what we have within our repository. Perfect. So we finished our transformation. And one more thing that I would like to show you is how to deal with HL7 messages having array of segments with the same segment type. Okay, so let's first of all review the source. Here is it. It's a ORU HL7 V2 message keeping laboratory result information. And as you can see, we are having here multiple OBX segments. So in fact, we are talking the segments with the same structure. The only difference between them is a result data type. In OBX1, OBX2, and OBX3, we are having numeric type data type. It is basically defined by this element, by this value within the second field of OBX segment. CWE is talking about a codable concept based value, and TX about just simple text. Okay, so let me show you how we are dealing with this kind of approach using our bundle maps. So let's go back to the FUME designer and put here our HL7 V2 message. And here I will load the previously created ORU bundle V1. It is basically the bundle which is keeping our transformation of this kind of bundle. Okay, let's minimize it and open it. Okay, as you can see, we are having one variable called observation child, which is keeping the array of all OBX segments. So you should not, of course, create the independent map for each of array's members, because you never, first of all, you will never know how many members you will have. Probably you will have 5 OBX segments, and probably you will have 20 or n OBX segments. It is why you, of course, would like to manage it as an array. So in fact, it is pretty simple to achieve with the FUME. You just have to put the segment name dot before brackets, and within the brackets you simply will use the standard observation map. Another point that you would like probably to achieve, you would like to create kind of automatic mapping or automatic condition which will recognize automatically the type observation of your OBX result and automatically choose appropriate OBX segment and appropriate structure within the map. So you can achieve it by using this kind of syntax. So let's go to one of the OBX segments here. Okay, here is it. And so what you have to do, you have to put into the brackets value type and equal to value, and then dot value that you would like to map actually and use within your observation resource. And below you have basically the object identifying and providing you capability to map appropriate values of appropriate data type from this OBX segment. The same for CWE. As you can see here, we are having structure of codable concept, and here we are having structure of numeric results, and here we are having structure of value strings, which is very obviously it's just a single element here. And as a result, you will get the array of observation resource having appropriate structure received as a transformation of the appropriate OBX segment. Here is it. So let me show you how it looks like, our transformation. So let's go to the bundle visualizer and put our result into the here into this screen, and here is it. It is what we got. We are having one observation parent, which is keeping references to each of observation row results, which are received basically as a transformation of OBX segment array. And then we're having user service request specimen as a part of our bundle. Okay, and here we finished. Thank you very much for your attention, and good luck.